Goodbye YouTube, and today for you I have something a little different. It's actually going to be a dual narration with my good friend IFoxMcCloudI. His channel link will be down in the description, so make sure to go check him out. Now, getting into the team preview, we're going to quickly talk about both of our teams, and I'll let Rondes start off.
I wanted to say hi to my friends before we started. Hi, everybody. Hi. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So team preview. Just wanted to test the team out with Leo, and it ended up being a really good battle. Um, Looking at his team, I could see that the most threatening things would probably be Scrafty if it got up maybe two Dragon Dances, or if it was a bulk upset, that'd be horrible because I don't really have much of something I'd have to sacrifice one or two Pokemon to be able to take it out. I'd probably have to use my Crobat, of which is banded, for Brave Bird. But if it got enough bulk ups up, then it would probably be able to take Crobat pretty easily. And I could come in with Hitmontop for Mach Punch, but that'd be really weak because it is a defensive Hitmontop. Blastoise, not a problem at all, really, because I could just Toxic it at any point in time. If it wants to Rapid Spin, it just gives me a free switch and to do whatever I want. I got Roserade, I got Rotomage for it. So it's not that big of a deal. Sableye, I fucking hate that Pokemon so much. And with every Pokemon on my team, in my head, I was like, all right, how am I going to handle Sableye? Okay, how am I going to handle Sableye with that? And yeah, Leo definitely uses that Pokemon very well this match.
All right, so I had a team that I actually based around Sableye because I really wanted to use it, as well as Scrafty and Zapdos, two weird sets that I'm trying out. Potential threats on my opponent's side of the team. There's not really anything I'm too afraid of. I mean, Crobat, if he is carrying Taunt, it's definitely going to be a issue, seeing as I have a very defensive team. Then also Scrafty, if I allow him to set up, I could be potentially screwed. But besides that, I can pretty much deal with the majority of his team. Hopefully be able to get on my entry hazards and just wear him down and pull out the victory. But let's get right into the battle. We'll have to see just how it turned out. Alright, so I'm going to be leading off with my Sableye, as he's going to be leading off with his Rotom. And right off the bat, I make a bit of a bad play, and I decide to go for the Recover as opposed to going for Nightshade, even though I do carry the Prankster.
And I made a bad play going for Overheat. That was completely stupid because it could have easily just recovered over and over again, barring a crit, which wouldn't happen. So I should have just gone for Volt Switch or Thunderbolt and just made, that was just a stupid play. I didn't want to my Scarf away so early because I felt like I might need it later in battle for Scrafty if it's Dragon Dance, which we don't know yet. I've got no clue. So
yeah, he decided to bring in his Roserade as I went for the Taunt, and he's going to switch back out into the Rotom as I go for the Nightshade, getting off some good damage on that as he's going to keep going for Thunderbolt. I'm just going to recover up, just seeing what the min-max was, and he just kept doing 52%, so I finally decided to bring in my Roserade, and that Thunderbolt actually ends up doing a bit more damage than I thought it would, but I see this as a perfect moment to start setting up my layers of spikes as he opts to bring in the Rotom.
Now I bring in Hitmontop here as Sleep Fodder, but he ends up going for Spikes. That tells me he does not have Sleep Powder. I actually kept going for Thunderbolt. As much as I did want to predict that Roserade switch in, I really felt like I couldn't risk being Will-O-Wisp by something. I wanted to go in the Crobat, but it didn't happen.
So he brought in the Crobat as I switched down to my Bronzong, and fearing the fact that he could be carrying the Taunt, I decided to go straight for the Gyro Ball as opposed to going for the Trick. But you're going to see that actually keeping my Scarf for later on in the battle is actually going to help me out a bit as I get some good damage off from this Rotom. I'm going to opt to bring in my Sableye because I can take a close combat, and if he does go for the Rapid Spin, obviously it's not going to happen because I am a Ghost type. So I'm just going to go for the Taunt, fearing the fact that he could be carrying the Toxic, so when I taunt him, I don't get status. But he actually opts to bring in the Rotom, so now if he is carrying the Trick, I don't have to worry about being tricked as I'm going to go for the Recover just to see what he wants to lock himself into.
Now, I actually ended up switching Rotomage in on a Nightshade, which I'm kind of upset about. I need to keep Rotomage as healthy as possible because he's going to be very useful in Thunderbolting Sableye, because I don't have much for Sableye right now other than trying to get a status on him, wearing him down with Spikes and Rocks, and hopefully coming in and finishing it off. Or if Scrafty can come in, he's got Lumberry, so hopefully he can just do some damage like that.
So I get up my second layer of Spikes as the following turn
Third
is going to bring in Roserade. No, I was going to say that this turn I get up my third layer of Spikes as he goes for the Hidden Power. Now, knowing that he more than likely is just going to go for another one, I'm going to opt to switch into my Sableye, but he makes a very good play, seeing as my only offensive move is Giga Drain. He goes for a layer of Spikes as I'm going to go for the Recover, and he's going to go for the Sludge Bomb. Luckily for me, he doesn't get the 30% poison, so the following turn, knowing that he more than likely is just trying to poison me, I'm actually going to bring in my Bronzong, and knowing that I should be able to take a Hidden Power Fire, I'm going to go for the Trick the following turn.
Now here, what's funny is that I actually did not know that Bronzong in UU now run Trick. I'm pretty sure it's a 4th gen set as well,
yeah,
running Trick. I think it's Choice Band too. But I haven't, this is my first match for UU in a while. I did not see that coming, but luckily it does play in my favor. I get Scarf and I just go for the HP Fire again as he stayed in, which is a a bit of a misplay. You want to explain that?
Yeah, I actually thought I could be able to take a hit to get up my rocks, but obviously I wasn't. So the following turn, I'm going to bring in my Roserade as I'm going to go for the rest, knowing I should be able to take at least one hit in Power Fire, and we're both actually going to pull double switches as I go out into my Zapdos. He's going to go out into his Rotom. Now, fearing the fact that he could go for the Trick, or maybe go for the Overheat, I'm actually going to go for the Roost. But luckily for me, he just goes for the Volt Switch, I believe, and just switches out into the Roserade, which was a bit questionable, but then I realized that I tricked off my Scarf to him. So knowing that he more than likely is going to go for the Sludge Bomb, I don't want to stay in and get poisoned, so I'm just going to switch back out into my Roserade.
This is where his Bronzong actually would have been useful to be able to take my Scarf Sludge Bombs, but he actually, you know, that couldn't happen because he let him fodder. He ended up being foddered off. Yep. Now he's going for Giga Drain here. That tells me he's probably trying to fodder it because I don't really see what he could have predicted there. So he's probably foddering his Roserade since it did serve its purpose. It got all 3 layers of spikes up. It's not going to do much with Giga Drain. So it's a good play by him foddering it off. And I'm going to predict the Rapid Spin and going to my Rotom H. Here, I think that I should go for Volt Switch. I'm not sure if I do, though. I could possibly have just gone for Thunderbolt, which was stupid as shit, and I'm going to pay for it in about 5 seconds. So, yep, there goes Rotom H. That should have definitely played that a lot better and saved Rotom H for his trolling ass, what's his name? Sableye, yeah.
So he's going to bring in the Crobat and easily OHKO me with the Banded Brave Bird as I'm going to switch out into my Sableye. So seeing that I could really go for the
ass nigga. I hate Sableye so much.
So seeing that I could go for the Woolworths, I'm going to go for that as he opts to bring in the Roserade. Now here I was contemplating either to go for the Taunt or go for the Nightshade because his final move could still be the rest. But I decided to risk it and I do just go straight for the Nightshade as he does opt to go for one final Sludge Bomb. Luckily for me, he does not poison me, so
I'm praying for it, man. I wanted that poison. That would have made things so much easier, and I Leo definitely did notice that Sableye would have been a very vital part of his team. So it's good that he's playing Sableye very well. He's trying to keep him, you know, he's trying to conserve Sableye. Here, I guess he did not expect me to have Will-O-Wisp. Lumberry, so he goes for the Willow, or he just went for it just because, you know, why not? It's a good play to go for it right there.
Yeah, I actually didn't see that he didn't take any Life Orb Recall, and I didn't see that he gained Leftovers, so he's able to easily OHKO my Sableye. As the following turn, I know I should be able to take any single hit from this thing and hopefully be able to 2-KO him with a Thunderbolt.
And here it's actually looking like good game because I can bring in Crobat to Brave Bird, but guess what I do? I'm gonna bring in Crobat. Fuck no. That'd be too easy. I'm gonna bring in Hitmontop, and he's definitely gonna do what Zapdos does best and pressure stall me out of Stone Edges in close combat. So as soon as I clicked that Hitmontop button, I swear to God, it was like nuclear warfare in my head. I was like, no, where's Crobat at? So
yeah,
go ahead.
This is actually a very weird Zapdos set. It's actually max special defense, not max special defense, but max speed and max special attack with Leftovers, Sub-Roost. Just something I was trying out, and luckily in this battle, it really does get the shine. As I'm just going to keep subbing up, roosting up, because eventually he's going to run out of Stone Edges, and close combat, as you see, is now breaking my Substitute. And because I am running fairly low on HP, I am going to be forced to go for the Roost, as he does break my Substitute with the Mach Punch. And the following turn, I believe I end up going for another Substitute, just to lower his defenses even more, because I'm pretty positive, even though he's at -1, I'm still not going to be able to OHKO him with a Thunderbolt. So I'd rather just freely be behind a Substitute and then finish him off as opposed to finishing him off and not being behind a Substitute as I go for one final Substitute. And luckily for me, third time is a charm, and he does he does end up missing the Stone Edge. So I'm just going to roost up because, again, I'm running low on HP. There's really no reason for me not to lose my Zapdos at this point, because really Zapdos is the only thing that can possibly win me the battle. As the following turn, I believe he does end up switching out as I finally do decide to go for the Thunderbolt, and I was actually very close to going for another Substitute, knowing that he had one final Stone Edge, but I did just go for the Thunderbolt, and after the 3 layers of spikes, his Regirock is at 50% health as I'm going to sub up as he opts to bring in the Crobat.
Now, my reason for not bringing in Registeel earlier is because it possibly could have came in on, Scrafty could have come in and started setting up, and if it had Dragon Dance, that would have pretty much been good game. So that was my reasoning for bringing in Registeel so late, and that's also the reason I switched out into Crobat there, predicting, you know, him to predict my Seismic Toss, go into Scrafty and set the fuck up. That didn't happen, and I lost Registeel. So I'm probably going to end up having to go into Hitmontop here, and this Zapdos is definitely giving me problems. Leo's playing it very well, and I played against it as poorly as I possibly could. But I'm going to go for Stone Edge here, break his sub, and what I was thinking earlier was that he's possibly max HP, max speed with, you know, Sub-Roost. I think it's a standard set, and that's probably why I didn't think Brave Bird would kill. But if I saw how much Ice Punch did, which did like over 70%, Brave Bird definitely would have killed. So had I noticed that and like paid, you know, good attention to it, this battle would have been mine, but as you can see, he's going to end the battle on that note.
So yeah, that was the 2-0 victory in my favor. Zapdos definitely putting in some work. So if you guys did enjoy the dual narration, make sure to go check out my boy IFoxMcCloudI, channel link down in the description. Also,
That's
if
me.
you make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to see more content, and yeah, I'm out of
If you
here.
like this video, I'll wear a dress in the next 5 battles.